We're live.
Whoops.
Okay. Sorry,
You were
everyone.
supposed to tell me.
I wasn't paying attention.
We have different sounds going off in alerts and whatever. So sorry. We're here. Welcome back to another Wednesday night sew and chat. I was just letting the dog downstairs because he was up here hanging out with us while we were getting everything set up, and he laid down and it seemed like he was just gonna quietly hang out with us, but then he heard the kids moving around downstairs and wanted to go down. So it got hectic after that. But we're here. Hi, everyone. I am still working on the Trifles quilt pattern. I honestly was going to try and plan something else, but this one isn't finished. And I was like, I haven't been good with keeping up with all of my unfinished quilts, so I didn't need to add more on. So I'm just going to keep working on this one, I think, until I am done with it. It's an easy sew. It's just I'm only pretty much sewing it while live, so it's it seems like it's taking me weeks.
Oh, hey, Chris is here. Amy's
Hi, Chris. Hi, Amy.
Pat Strawhouse says she's joining from her campsite at a harvest host in Gorham, Maine. I don't know what a harvest host is.
That sounds like something we would like, though.
It sounds like there's going to be food, so I would like it. Hey, so Becca's here.
Oh, hey, Becca. Wow, we have like all the famous people. We have Amy, we have Chris, we have Becca. What is going on today? What is going on in the universe?
Yeah, Danelle just got monetized. Amy just had her first live.
Donnell's live with, I know you weren't able to because you were working, but Donnell's live with Lil was a lot of fun over the weekend when she was giving away and celebrating for her getting monetized.
Yeah.
Amy's live was a lot of fun too.
It was a lot of fun.
Her first live on her channel.
We were able to make that, where I was able to make that one because I decided not to work on.
On the weekend.
Was it Saturday night or Sunday night? I don't remember.
Oh, you worked all day Saturday. So
I
worked all day Saturday,
so
and you worked half the day on
Sunday. So it was Sunday.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. It could have been either one. One of those days you worked half of it. They all blend together at this point.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone.
So if you see me just like playing with the fabric, it's because I'm trying to line up the seams for these sashings so that it doesn't look completely weird. I'm not going to rip it out if it does look weird, but I'm trying to pretend I'm doing a good job here.
Yeah. Yeah. So I apologize. Typically, I'm a little bit more put together. But it's true. Some insight into personal life. I own a law firm, and one of the things I specialize in some very unique things. But what ends up happening is I end up getting hired by other law firms to fix the stuff that they mess up.
Yeah, you can't correct this early in the stream. Later you can start.
So I actually got hired by like 4 different law firms because they all got together on some cases that they have no business handling, and they hired me to basically come in and fix everything. And what was initially agreed upon is, hey, I will help fix what you have done wrong. That was the initial agreement, and it turned into, oh, you literally don't know what you're doing, so I have to do it all for you. And so what I thought was going to be a 10-hour project ended up being like an 80-hour project, and it all had to get done between Saturday and today. So just fine. Like I get paid for it, so I'm not complaining, but it's just.
But you're complaining.
It's just like,
yeah, you would rather it be like, this is what we agreed to rather than there's all this other stuff.
Yeah, I'm not saying that doctors are the same as lawyers because doctors serve at least some purpose. Lawyers serve no purpose. But if you're a heart surgeon, don't tell someone that you can perform plastic surgery on them. Like that's just not in your wheelhouse. So if you're not an attorney, but yeah,
not the doctor. Well, some doctors do,
but the nice thing is they're crappy. But I know that I fixed everything, and their clients will be taken care of. So it's not necessarily. I shouldn't be allowing them to continue doing what they're doing, but like someone's got to take care of their clients, and rather someone who knows what they're doing than someone who doesn't.
So I want to thank Becca. It looks like she gifted 5 memberships to our channel. So thank you, Becca. And then I don't know if I remembered to tell you, but Auntie L Handmade, remember she was talking about her quilt, like not.
Oh yeah, no,
so
she never got it back.
She finally heard from the long arm, or I think she said that she had like a really bad migraine for a few weeks and wasn't getting back to her about it. But she knows she's going to be getting her quilt now, so I think that's
awesome. Awesome. So good to hear that. So Pat Strawhouse says a harvest hosts are people who have wineries, farms, breweries, museums, etc., who welcome campers to stay overnight for free at their facility with the understanding that they'll end up buying something instead of paying the fee. That's kind of cool. I like it's sort of like a barter system.
Yeah.
You come and stay on the beautiful property, and then you buy something from us, and everyone's happy. I like that. I like that a lot.
So if anybody is freaking out because they see me using pins, because I don't normally pin things, I do every now and then when I know that it is needed. So like trying to meet up the sashings and everything, I will pin more than I ever typically do. So
yeah.
It's been really interesting for me hearing about all the stuff going on with these different law firms, though, because I love that kind of stuff. But normally he doesn't talk about that kind of stuff with me, and it leaves it open for me to talk about the true crime stuff I like to talk about, because his isn't true crime. But there's been this case that I've been watching this week, and I want to talk about it and get his thoughts on it. But he has so much going on, he doesn't have time to listen to any of that.
It's a double-edged sword.
So I've been trying to get like Chris to look into it and talk to her about it. And then I've been trying to get my friend from way back in the day, because she likes true crime podcasts, to look into it, but they're both busy. So I'm on my own on this one.
Chris says pins for the win.
She likes to pin.
I would assume, given her comment.
I know some of the things I do makes her eye twitch, and we laugh about it.
So yeah, so it's been an interesting week, but it's been good. We actually found an Italian restaurant that so it's sort of an interesting story. So about a year ago, we were hungry and we found this Italian spot. So we go in, we went in at like 4 o'clock, because a lot of times if we go out to dinner on the weekends, we go early so that we can beat the rush, because apparently we're 75 years old at heart. So we go in, there's legitimately no one in the restaurant except for the workers. And we're like, hey, we'd like to eat here. And they're like, do you have a reservation? And we said, no, it's Saturday, 4 o'clock. There's no one in here. We don't need a reservation. I didn't say that, but I just said no. And they're like, oh, we're reservation only. And so they kicked us out. It wasn't rude. They basically just said, look, if you don't have a reservation, you don't get to eat here. So I was like, well, screw you. Like, there's literally nobody in here. And even if you had a bunch of reservations, like the chance that everyone is coming exactly at 4:15 is unlikely. So they could have seated us, but they didn't. So I swore it off, because I'm like, no, that's stupid. I hate that. Fast forward to last, and now we're going rewind. But last weekend, I was like, I really want good Italian, and we've not really been able to find it here. So I looked, and again, we don't live in Houston proper. We live way out in the sticks. But the best Italian place was the best, highest rated. It had like 800 reviews, and it was like 4.8 stars, which is unheard of, because you don't get that many reviews and get 4.8 stars. So I was like, fine, I'm going to bite the bullet. I'll make a reservation. We go. It was amazing. And I understand now why they do the reservation only thing. It's because they want to make sure that they're not overstaffed and that they aren't spending extra money on staff. Like, you don't want to staff your restaurant for 500 people if only 100 people are showing up. So I get it. But it was amazing. It was truly authentic Italian. Like, they don't have Alfredo. They don't have a lot of the Italian dishes that Americans think are Italian. It was excellent, and so very happy to have found that place.
Yeah, it was really good.
So I was very happy about that.
So
Mike, you're banned again. I don't know how we're gonna have to ban you every week. They didn't have blue cheese there.
That's funny. So it's not a true crime podcast that I'm listening to right now, Becca. It is, I'm listening. This is really embarrassing. So I am listening to, it's not really embarrassing, but I'm watching the full trial of Karen Reed. So it's live, right? Well, not right now, but I think we're on day 7 where I act like I'm there, like working on it. At this point, I feel like I should be on the jury. But I prefer watching Emily D. Baker's commentary on the trial. So she live streams the trial on her channel, and then she kind of gives commentary on it. It's really helpful because if you're not understanding something that's going on, she was a prosecutor in LA, so now she just does commentary. So she's really good at about explaining some of the confusing stuff that's going on and why stuff's not allowed in. But I find it fascinating.
I will say, like, so my job is doing legal stuff, so like I'm not really interested in listening to people talk about legal stuff because 1, I generally think that their opinions are wrong, and 2, I just want to get away. But I will say, I have listened to some of Emily D. Baker stuff. Her commentary is generally pretty good. She has good insight, and she presents it in a reasonable way. It's not overly technical.
Yeah.
So if I were going to listen to anything, it would be her.
And she's funny. So
I didn't get that.
Well, because you don't watch her all day long like I do.
So
yeah, Karen, is that her channel? Really, she's really good. And so if you aren't like me, where you sit and sew all day and listen to a podcast or an audiobook, or if a trial's going on, she has a channel that's all it's like called Emily D. Baker Quick Bits, and she'll give like a summary that's like 10 to 15 minutes long of the trial going on. I'm sure none of you care about this, but that's what's been on my mind this week is that trial.
Twyla, I just saw your message in the chat. I will check my emails. So I don't know when you joined, but like I had this whole weird legal thing come up. So like I've been busy since Saturday. So I will check your email and I will get back to you. Oh, thank you, Mike. Mike became a member just so he can taunt me with his blue cheese. Unbelievable. So, Mike, serious question. Do you actually like blue cheese, or are you just saying this to make me tell you why blue cheese is bad? Because I know some people will do that, right? You find out someone doesn't like the Yankees, and you just tell them how good the Yankees are. I'd like to believe that to you. Like, I'd much rather have you like joke about it than actually truly like blue cheese.
Well, you know I like blue cheese. You forget about it, don't you?
No, I remember. That's why I keep my distance.
Okay, that's why you're sitting way over there.
Okay, yeah. Mike just likes to cause havoc. He may also like blue cheese, because I'm sure people who like blue cheese like havoc. But yeah. So this isn't one of the questions for the day, but it's sort of an interesting one, and I will put it up here real quick because now I'm interested.
Is it a poll about how many people like blue cheese?
It is not.
Yes. This isn't the best way to do this, but it's happening. Sorry. Okay, I think I only have one more row to do. This can get added onto there. And I'll be almost done with this one.
What is a food item you refuse to eat?
Seafood,
blue cheese.
Any seafood.
Blue cheese.
Any fish, seafood. I'm not a big fan of ketchup either. I get kind of offended if it's on my burger and I ask for it not to be.
You do. You really. But it's also because if you really like, I don't really like mustard. I'm okay if it's in certain things, but I don't like mustard generally. If I order a burger and it comes with mustard and it's not supposed to, like, I'm not going to eat it. So I get offended. It's like, yeah, you got to take this back. Like, I try not to send food back, but If you bring me
Some
something with
things you
blue
just
cheese
can't,
or
like,
mustard,
I just can't like. I'm not a big fan of mayo either. Like in certain things, it belongs there, in my opinion. Like if it's mixed in with seasonings and stuff in a potato salad and it's not too heavy in it, I can eat it. But like I don't like mayo on a burger or any of that stuff either. So I always ask for it not to be on there. But if it comes on it, I can scrape that off to where it doesn't offend me when I eat it. But the ketchup is just a no-go for me. So
we got some interesting answers here. So octopus from Amy. I love octopus. I could eat it all day. Teresa says liver. I'm with you on that. I like pate, which is not technically liver, I don't think, but liver I can't generally do. Green beans, Luane. Green beans are delicious. Even if you don't like the flavor, which I don't really think they have much. Toss them in cheese, dip them in ranch, deep fry them with garlic. Like there's so many things you can do. Andrea won't eat watermelon. Joyce won't do raw oysters. I'm with you on that one.
I get the cottage cheese one because that's just a texture thing, I'm sure. I love cottage cheese though, but I get it because there's some things that I don't eat like because of that.
Jill doesn't like tomatoes, which is like tomatoes are one of my favorite fruits and foods generally. Like I'll put tomatoes on anything. So that's an interesting one. Seafood, but that's because she's allergic. So I get that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Pickles. So 100 proof quilter, there are very disgusting pickles, but they're also very delicious. So I'm picky about pickles, but I will eat them for sure. Now, 100 proof quilter, do you like cucumbers? Because I know some people, like I have a friend who loves ketchup but hates tomatoes, and I know they're not the same thing, but I sort of feel like if you like ketchup, you should probably like tomatoes. Bambi doesn't like avocado. I love those. But I know there's a lot of people that don't like them. Have fun at work, Linda. A lot of people saying blue cheese because they're smart. Mike doesn't like salmon. Man.
I don't either.
I love salmon.
Nope.
Pears from Auntie Handmade. That's interesting. I'm kind of ambivalent about pears.
You don't like fruit much.
I like okra. I like tomatoes. I like avocados. Those are fruit.
Was that low?
Probably.
I don't think you dislike fruit. I just think it's not one of your go-to.
So Teresa, you have asked what the fabric line is. The fabric line is a Riley Blake design called Beautiful Day by Echo Park. And I will put a link here in a second. I just need to catch up on all of the.
It might be hard to find because I think I've had this for a while, but there might be some places that have it.
Oh, yeah, obviously, we know Amy hates mayo.
Now, Amy, have you watched that movie about mayo? Well, not about mayo, but every time you say that, it makes me think of that. Love at First Sight, was that what it's called?
Yes,
on Netflix?
Love at First Sight on Netflix.
They both hate mayo, so you can watch it.
Candied sweet potatoes, that's very specific for Carla. Eel and sushi. I love eel and sushi. I love eel generally. That's Chris. So refuse to eat canned peaches. I generally refuse to eat canned pretty much anything. I don't know that I've ever had anything canned that didn't have at least just a twinge of iron flavor when you eat it. Another oysters for Bettina. Cilantro. Yep. There's a lot of people that our son has the taste like soap gene. Anything pickled for Angela. I love pickled onions. Liver mush, sushi, cherries, and oysters for Michelle. I don't like cherries either. I'll eat them if I have to, but it's not something I would choose to. Zaza says her daughter calls green beans Kermit's Willies.
Oh gosh.
That would make it hard to eat them.
Yeah. I hope that leaves my head because I love green beans.
Tapioca or rice pudding, oysters. Yeah, see, so Mike, we have something in common. He says he can make tomato a food group. I can as well.
Yeah, he really could. But you don't like sun-dried tomatoes.
I don't, because they're not tomatoes. They're fake. Okay, so 100 proof quilter hates pickles but loves cucumbers. That's totally fine in my bag. I mean, everything's fine. You guys do what you want.
You're approving of everything.
Ava says orca, asparagus, shellfish, and clams. I've never been somewhere where orca was even an option. I don't know that I want to eat it. Where are you finding orca on the menu? I would like to know that. I think they're beautiful animals. They're also dangerous as hell. So, and they're vicious. But yeah, I've never seen.
Mike doesn't
orca.
like sun-dried either.
Okay, Mike, you're getting better in mine. You're going up in the level. No to anchovies for Danelle. Amy said she's going to check out the movie. So Auntie says that pears are a texture thing. How do you feel about like applesauce, Auntie handmade? Is that sort of a similar issue for you? And then what about, I guess, I don't think what else has a similar texture to a pear.
They can just get really soft when they're
right. Nancy says mountain oysters. Touche. You know what mountain oysters are?
I think I know.
Cow testicles.
Yeah.
Or bull testicles, not cow. Because cows don't have bull.
I only know from that. I loved that show. Did you ever watch that show, Fear Factor?
Oh, Joe Rogan? No.
No?
I did not.
Yeah, that's like how I know, because they would have to eat gross stuff like that. They do that sometimes on The Amazing Race, but not as much recently. They haven't done that as much.
Oh, okay. Much better, Ava. She said she just misspelled okra. I was like, okay, good. Yeah, which makes more perfect sense. I was just like, man, orca. I don't know if I want to do that. Although Luane says you can find okra in Greenland. So.
I mean, it makes sense because I would assume in some places they're like they have to be, because they'll eat like the small fish that's probably caught there for food and stuff. So,
let's see. Mike says Fear Factor was amazing. So, or rock to be specific. Zaza, a mountain oyster is a bull testicle. They call them mountain oysters, I guess, to make people feel better about eating them. But yeah, it's that's what it is. Now, to be fair, I've never had one, and I don't think I will ever have one, but I have been told that they are delicious. I'm not eating them, but that is something I have been told.
Mike, that's exactly what it felt like happened on that show, and I miss it, and I doubt they would ever be able to do a show like that anymore.
No way you could have that show anymore. Where did you buy this fabric? Because I can't find it online.
Well, because it's so old that it's probably just not printed anymore.
Okay. Well, I will post it in here.
Unfortunately, I don't even remember how old it is, but it probably has to be at least 3 years old, I would think, because I've had it a while.
Oh, I missed a story. Judy said her husband, or someone was. Oh, Michelle's Crafts and More said her husband was trying to pry her mouth open to give her a mountain oyster and almost lost a thumb. Yeah, my wife would literally bite my thumb off, so I've no chance I'd even try that.
Or throw up on you.
Yeah, I'm not.
I have really weird food things, so
she really does.
That's not gonna if I don't want to eat something, that's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Oh, hey, Julie. Julie's here.
Oh, hey, Julie.
I'm glad. Yeah, I can imagine you've been busy with
all the storms everywhere.
All the storms probably just been crazy, but glad you get a chance to rest. You came at a perfect time. We just finished talking about bull testicles. So, you missed that. So good for you. What do I have here? Oh, yeah. Okay. Good there.
Did you come up with any questions for this one? I know you were.
I did, yeah. You're
yeah,
welcome.
because you asked the food that. Oh
Mhm.
my word! I need to go take a nap.
No, that was one on the spot. Since Mike was giving me crap about them. You are welcome, Julie. I had fun making your custom trim locks, and I'm glad they have worked out well. Did you get them already? I feel like
I know one she should have because I sent it last week, but the one I just sent, I don't probably not yet because I think it went out Monday.
it's probably a good thing, Joyce. Although, because Ian and I would have taken that conversation in a very bad place, and my wife would get mad at me. Because she said that Ian missed out on that conversation.
Oh, yeah.
So
he came right at the end of last week, and y'all were causing trouble.
So now that one of the questions, and this was by happenstance, I forgot what the questions were, but one of them is, and it sort of leads into this question that we're having, which is, what is your favorite restaurant in the U.S.? And I asked for two reasons. One, I'm curious, but two, we're going to be doing a lot of traveling this summer for soccer, so I'm open to ideas. And we'll literally, I don't know, we're going to go to like 15 different states. So throw out your ideas. I would love to know what everyone's favorite restaurant is. So for me, it's probably I go back and forth on this because it's sort of what am I in the mood for. But I think for me, it's probably a Mexican restaurant in Palo Alto, California called Celia's. And they are amazing. So for me, that's what it would be. What about you, baby?
I was trying to think because there's so many that I like.
While you're thinking, Tiff says where she's from, gooey ducks are well liked, but she would never try it. I would never try one either. I think there are a variety of like a clam, but like they look like a male organ, and so for that reason, I would never eat one. I'm not into eating like body part looking things. Guess who Nancy's favorite restaurant is? Panda Express. That's is like unexpected. Yeah, he loves that place. Luane says Mom's Kitchen or Whataburger. Luane, is Mom's Kitchen? I don't remember the name of it. There's a place, I want to say in Washington Square in San Francisco. It's a breakfast place. Maybe it's like Mom's on Washington. Is that what you're referring to, or is that just something different?
Or like his actual Mom's Kitchen.
Oh, maybe.
She could be a very good cook.
Marianne says Terry's in Charlevoix. Okay. Judy Bear says Roadhouse. Are you talking about like the Texas Roadhouse, or is it just called Roadhouse?
Mike's gonna be your friend again. Did you see his?
I'm not there yet. Ava's Olive Garden. Mike says he would do anything to get his hands on an In-N-Out. Mike, you and I are friends again because that is like one of my favorite places. So you're back and we're good to go now. Diane, hold on. We're going to be in Indiana, Illinois, Utah,
North Carolina, Florida,
South Carolina, Florida, Michigan, Iowa.
Yeah.
There's more. Missouri. I don't remember the rest, but that's sort of a list that we're. But some of those we may drive to, so we may be driving from many states. Zaza says the best restaurant meal she had in the U.S. was at the Willard Hotel in D.C. Okay, I've never been there.
There was that place that we went for after we got married was really good.
Rodney's?
Yeah,
Rodney's in Santa Barbara? Very good place, yeah. I think it's the...
You know where I would really love to go back to now?
The Hitching Post?
Yeah, you know, right away because of those artichokes there. I don't even know if that place is still open.
I don't know. But that's
that
right there.
Sandwich shop in Solvang.
Yep. Almost 20 years of marriage. She says, you know where I want to go? And immediately I know what it is. Didn't even have to say what the cuisine was. I knew. Okay, so it was Texas Roadhouse. Danelle's also Panda Express. Danelle, that's disappointing because I know where you live and I can give you a list of restaurants that are blow your mind. So if you're interested, let me know, and I will tell you where you can go. And then you can tell me if Panda Express is still your favorite. Ray says Phoenix, Arizona would be Italian restaurant Anzio's. They have the best wings and pizza. So I have a lot of friends that live in Scottsdale, and they took me to an Italian place once. It was like an upscale Italian. They didn't have wings. And I don't remember what it's called, but I think it was in North Scottsdale, and it was very good. Ted Peters Smoked Fish House. Michelle, that sounds delicious. It's probably my wife's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Because she does not do seafood. A lot of people saying Texas Roadhouse. So, funny story. Oh, man, it was either... I think it was right after we got married. But we had gone to a Texas Roadhouse in California. And it may have just been that Texas Roadhouse. And I may have told the story before. So, if I have, I apologize. But we go there. It's my first time ever being to Texas Roadhouse. I think it was her first time. And I ordered a sweet potato with my steak. And they bring out to the table a russet potato with butter and brown sugar, and they called that a sweet potato. And I was like, excuse me, this is not a sweet potato. And they're like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, no, sweet potatoes are orange. And he's like, oh, yeah, we don't have those. We do regular potato with butter and brown sugar. And I'm like, well, that's not damn sweet potato. Like, you guys. So I've never gone back to a Roadhouse as a result of that. Now,
that was the funniest experience ever. And I bet it was like, I bet whoever was there that day was just didn't know what to do, because I don't think anywhere really considers that a sweet potato. I'm still sure of that, but it was so funny.
Auntie Handmade says Old Spaghetti Factory. I love that place. They have the best Mizithra cheese spaghetti you can get in the world, and they have a very good pesto ranch dressing for salad. But there's not one within, I don't know, 1,000 miles here, maybe 2,000.
I thought they put one in Houston.
Really?
I thought so.
I'm gonna have to check, because if so,
or maybe it was just maybe it was something else with a similar name. But I thought we were talking about it.
Maybe we were. For us, the nearest is in Oklahoma City.
So I don't know what I was thinking of then.
Okay, so Twyla says Monica's in Coralville, Iowa, which is near Iowa City. So we will be near Iowa City, definitely within driving distance. So I'm going to write that one.
I don't have anything to write with here.
It's a pencil. What are these? Can I write on these?
Sure.
Okay, so Monica's in Coralville. Perfect.
So how do you all clean your iron? Because I think on the last live, you probably saw it. Oh, you have it all folded up. There was some dust on my iron that got on some of the white fabric here. I'm hoping it'll come out later when I wash it. But so I decided to clean my iron, and I used this paste that came in one of my subscription boxes, did what it said, and then I feel like for a day my iron just smoked. So I'm never going to do that again. So
and she always hurts herself.
it's almost gone, the burn from 2 weeks ago. But it smelled so bad. Whatever the paste was just like burning on it, and I felt like I wiped it all off, but there has to be a better way.
So Nancy, we have been invited to a recruiting trip at Western Kentucky University. I don't remember if it is a lot of these schools, because there's periods during which the NCAA lets Division I schools recruit. So we can't go to every school that invites us because many of them have their recruiting trips on the same days. So I know we got invited to Western Kentucky. I just don't remember if it's one that we're going to be able to go to. But feel free to shoot out the restaurant, because if we go, I would like to know. So Amy, I'll throw this out there, because she says she's not a huge fan of In-N-Out. There is a very big difference between In-N-Out in California and Arizona and Nevada. than In-N-Out in Texas. Like the In-N-Outs here are not nearly as good. So if your only experience has been with In-N-Out in Texas, then I can understand why you're not a big fan. But you need to go to either Vegas or somewhere in Arizona or to California, and then tell me if that makes a difference for you.
Marianne, I only clean my iron when it puts when it like is staining my fabric. I never remember to keep up with stuff like that. And then Joyce, yeah, that was really disappointing, that short, because I thought it was hilarious, but a lot of people are very mad at me.
Let's see. Karen, where in Illinois? We will be in Carbondale, Illinois, at Southern Illinois University.
So in case anybody, I don't know if you mentioned, but in case anybody wasn't on the live that last week, it's all because of recruiting trips for our daughter for soccer.
Yeah.
So
Danelle, we will actually we'll be close to Roseville. We're gonna be so we've already had a recruiting trip at the University of Michigan. The next one is for Central Michigan in Pleasant. Oh man, you'll know Danelle. It's not Pleasanton, it's not Pleasantville. May not be Pleasant. It's Pleasant something. Mount Pleasant, maybe, is what it is. So maybe like an hour from Detroit, hour and a half. No, Chris, there are no. Well, Penn State has a decent soccer team, but our daughter doesn't want to go there. And Penn State's, I think, like the only good Division I soccer program in Pennsylvania. So we will not be making any trips there.
Joyce, I thought it was funny too. I'm glad you thought it was funny. A few people seemed to get it, but.
Yes, Julie, our daughter, the Texas A&M has a campus in Corpus Christi. They have a relatively good soccer team. But
you just signed up for it, right?
Yeah, we just agreed. Yeah, there's one. I think it's relatively soon. But her biggest interest there is it's basically a campus on an island, and she loves the idea of tropical stuff. I don't think she realizes that Corpus Christi is not tropical in any way, shape, or form. But to be fair, it is a very pretty campus. Joyce, we age very well, I guess.
That's not true. The cameras are just very gentle.
Yes, we have filters on the cameras to make us look better.
What did she say?
She says we don't look old. So we haven't been married a full 20 years. It's almost 20 years. Okay, so for Fort Worth, we've got King Tut Restaurant, because we have, I think we're going to University of North Texas at some point. King Tut in Fort Worth.
Thank you, Marianne. I thought it was funny too, but I think a lot of people just didn't realize it was a joke. I think they really thought I was using a 35-pound weight to hold my ruler down, or was trying to. So I think the joke was just lost on some, but.
So Luane, I've actually been to Porky's in Memphis. So I did consulting, legal consulting. So I traveled all over the country fixing issues for people.
Weren't we in Memphis together too?
No, we were in.
Oh no, we were in. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we were in.
But I've been to Porky's, so it is a good place. Amy says they like anything local and good. Amy, I know your favorite place is the Waffle House, which is one of my favorite places too. So it's hard to beat the Waffle House. I'm not going to lie. Ray says she's heard that Bucky's has really good meat sandwiches. They actually do. Like, they have some of the best brisket that I've had. It's really good.
Well, aside from the smokehouse place downtown, I think.
Do
you want me to tell her? Sure.
I didn't even see what she said. Mm-hmm. Red Robin. Okay. Have you ever tried a white sweet potato? I have never tried a white one, Ava. I would like to try one. But I don't know where I'd even find one. I've never seen one. Sorry, my daughter's asking me if she can go somewhere. There we
I
go.
do actually like Waffle House.
I love Waffle House. It's delicious. Oh, Pat says she was bounced out of the live. Sorry, Pat. I don't know why. I did not kick you out. I promise. Man, I'm like way behind on comments. I need to. I know, Mike, you said something about animal style. I love animal style fries from In-N-Out. They are glorious.
See, I'm not a big fan of In-N-Out here, but you still like it. But I think it's much better in California, like you had said.
It's much better. Yeah, and Mike says the Vegas In-N-Out on Tropicana. Yeah, the In-N-Out in yes, very good, and it's a fun place to be. I'm a huge fan of Vegas. It's like one of my, mostly because I love watches, and in Vegas you can go and look at all of the watches because they're all there. And if you know the right people, which I do, so if you're there, ask me, send me a note. But you can go in and buying a Rolex, you have to have connections. But like if you have the connections and you can get a Rolex, there's ways that you don't have to pay tax on them if you're in Vegas. It's a very unique thing that you have to do. It's totally legal, but it's, so if you ever want to buy an expensive watch and don't want to pay tax, let me know and I can hook you up.
That sounds illegal.
It's totally legal. They just have to do the transaction in a certain way, and all of the high-end watch stores know how to do it. But they won't do it unless you ask. So you sort of have to give them the wink, wink, nod, nod to get it done. Mount Pleasant. Okay, thank you, Marianne. It is Mount Pleasant is where Central Michigan is.
Yeah, he's not getting watches like that anymore.
What?
This Rolexes and stuff. Because Mike said Rolex, he needs to buy fabric.
Oh yeah. There are a handful of Rolexes that I enjoy, but like I much prefer IWC.
Nobody knows.
Mike will know. Mike, so I like IWC Mike. I like JLC and I don't know where I was going. So
yeah. Wayne's like, but can you get me a hookup at So Yeah? You're talking to the.
I was thinking about watches. So my favorites are IWC. It's one of my favorite watches that I have. Big fan of JLC as well, and then Patek Philippe are probably my three favorites that I have. Oh, good. A lot of people talking about your shorts. I'm probably way behind. Oh yeah,
we already had that discussion.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna. I apologize, everyone. Oh no, I finally caught up. Okay, good. So Zaza, some of the women's Rolexes are actually quite nice, and some of them are thin. If you go just like with a regular, like date just. But yeah, some of the Rolexes can get a bit heavy. Omelette House Banana Bread. I have never heard of that, but it sounds very interesting. Oh, Mike, you're hilarious. He says good watches make him tick. So, Mike, you're in New York. Are you upstate or are you in the city or where are you? Because I love certain parts of upstate New York. Okay, so let's go to question number 2 because I can talk about watches all day, and I have a feeling that everyone will get bored and want me to shut up. So Ray, I will say this: I would rather buy fabric than a Rolex. I'd rather buy an IWC, a JLC, or a Patek than.
Yeah, but I win and get fabric. So.
What?
But I win and get fabric.
Yeah.
But you cared about that stuff more when you were going into an office every day. Like, you don't really buy clothes and that kind of stuff as much anymore because you work from home.
No, I have a personal tailor who's really pissed because I haven't bought anything from him in 2 years, and it's I have no reason to. I have enough suits that if I need to, I can go into court. But like my job is to fix people who screw stuff up, so that they can go and
Yeah, you
take
haven't
my
been
good
to
work and
court
do it.
for a while.
No, it's not a big. I don't really enjoy it.
I want to be on a trial. I want to get selected for a jury. You get called all the time
All the
to
time.
go to jury duty, and
It
I've
is-
never once.
It is the most frustrating thing in the world because, one, from a constitutional perspective, having an attorney on the jury immediately results in a mistrial if either party moves for it. Attorneys are legal experts, just like a doctor is a medical expert. You're not allowed to have experts on the jury. They have to be lay persons. So you can be a medical doctor who's an expert, and you can be on a jury so long as the jury, the case rather, has nothing to do with medical, right? So if it's a contract dispute between two software companies, doctors can be on that all day long. The problem is with a lawyer, as a legal expert, any case is legal, right? So like I'm an expert in every possible, under the law. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but under the law, I am an expert in any case that would ever get tried. And the fact that I'm a litigator and a trial attorney makes it even worse, right? It's one thing if you have, a transactional attorney who's never seen the inside of a courtroom, it's still technically an expert, but much less of a problem. But if I were to ever get on a jury, it would be unconstitutional for the case not to be a mistrial if one of the parties objected after the trial was over. Which means that lawyers should never be on juries because it's never going to be technically constitutional. But I get called all the time. Like in Texas, it's every 6 months is the minimum. It's the most.
He gets
Yeah.
called.
So I have to show up for 2 days and wait. And then when I finally get called, they're like, oh, yeah, you're dismissed because you're an attorney. I'm like, yeah, I tried to tell you that before I showed up. But you guys told me to go, through myself. So I waste 2 days of my life. I get $17, which, by the way, state of Texas sends you in a gift card 3 months later. It's like, what am I doing with a $17 gift card? And I end up losing them and I don't use them. But
I've never got called. It's not fair.
yeah, she wants to get called so badly. And I'm literally friends now with the clerk in our county because I get called all the time. And I'm like, can we just switch my wife and I out? She's like, look, I get it, but no, we can't do that. So.
I think you've even called and asked if I can go in your place the last time.
So Zaza has good taste. She likes JLT, Patek, and Cartier.
What was the question?
That was about watches.
No, this.
What is your favorite type of donut? So Amy says hot Krispy Kreme. I'm good with that.
Yep, that's like what I was gonna say is like just a plain Krispy Kreme, but unless we're talking like going to
like a
Orchard
Michigan,
and
a Michigan cider mill where you can get apple cider donuts, apple fritters, apple fritters, old fashioned chocolate. So I'm with 100 proof Quilter. Old fashions are my favorite though. I like the maple glaze. Chocolate are fine too, but maple glaze are my favorite. Real favorite is apple cider donuts from what's my favorite cider mill in Michigan? It is in Plymouth. I just don't remember what it's called, but there's a cider mill in Plymouth, Michigan, which is amazing, and they make the best apple cider donuts.
Well, Wayne, I feel like that's exactly what would happen to me if I ever got called. I would get on one for something that's stupid or that like you did, where somebody didn't even show up.
A lot of cream-filled donuts. Anti-handmade. I love talking watches. So if your son ever wants to join and we can just take over the chat talking about watches, we can do that. Banana fritter with syrup and cream. I have never had one, Zaza, but that sounds delicious because I love bananas. And I love maple syrup, assuming that's the type of syrup. And I love cream. So it seems like it's right up my alley. Maple bacon. Ooh, that sounds delicious. I've never had a maple bacon donut, but it sounds good. A croissant donut. I've never had one, although there's a store around here that makes HEB. They make cinnamon and sugar coated croissants, which are pretty decent.
Have we been to Franklin Cider Mill? That sounds familiar.
Yes, Franklin Cider Mill. That may be the one I'm thinking of. Is that one in Plymouth? I think it is. I don't think it's in Franklin. I think it's in Plymouth. So that may be the one I was thinking of. Cream-filled chocolate frosting, butternut crunch donut. That Dunkin' Donuts no longer. Oh, that sucks. I hate when companies make good stuff and they get rid of it.
I know.
fresh blueberry donuts. So there are cider mills in Michigan that do make blueberry cider donuts, and they're delicious. Dunkin' Donuts cruller. I do like crullers quite a bit, actually. And if I do a cruller, I just want it to be like a plain sugar coated with no other flavors because I really like the texture of them. Lindsay got called to serve on jury duty right after they moved. Yeah, it's amazing how that stuff happens.
Did you tell them that they're not your peers yet? You haven't lived there long enough? Or were you excited to?
No, usually there's like a requirement that you have to live there for a couple months. So not all states do it, but Lorraine was on a jury in Dallas for a traffic ticket, and the guy didn't even show up. Man, how do you let that get to a trial? A traffic like they're like $100 ticket, dude. That's our tax money at work right there, fighting over.
Been like a really.
Yeah, so Zaza said she had someone who was on a rape murder case and she had nightmares for months afterwards.
I think that's what would end up happening to me, honestly. Like, I feel like it would be like, because when you're watching a trial, it's very different because you don't see those photos. If you're there, you actually have to see them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I would. Yeah.
I had a friend who served on it. It was like a trial that took like 3 or 4 weeks, and it was a murder trial, and they convicted the guy. And she was not happy about it. I mean, he was happy with the decision. Like, she was confident that they made the right decision, but like she was a mess for a couple of weeks. A fudge donut from a local baker. Ooh, fudge donut sounds delicious. Auntie Handmaid said her nephew is a cop and his mom got called to jury duty for a case involving his department and they kept her on the jury. Yeah, that's misconduct.
Yeah, that
like,
doesn't seem right.
To be fair, and I'm not blaming your nephew or his mom. If she concealed that fact, then the jury or the judge and the
they
attorneys
probably
would
didn't
know.
want to be on that trial.
But if she's like, hey, yeah, my son's a cop in the department, they should have kicked her immediately. Yeah, Franklin Cider Mill. Their duchy. I don't know what a duchy is, Pat Strawhouse. What is a duchy? Parmenter's is a good cider mill, the one in Northville. I've been there. I've been to all. I mean, look, Dexter Cider Mill. We've been to all of them. So maybe Franklin isn't the one I'm thinking of. There's one in Plymouth.
I can't remember what that name sounded familiar, but
I'll have to look it up now.
There could be like ones that are named the same.
Oh, there you go. It's called Plymouth Orchard and Cider Mill. So
why were we both thinking it was that?
Franklin. Well, because we've been to Franklin. Like we went to it when we were in Michigan last. We went to Franklin.
Oh.
It's a really good one. Blueberry cake donut.
There's so many that we like there. That makes sense. I'm like covered in fuzz.
Cinnamon twist. Hey, good evening, So Terry. How are you? Cinnamon twists are really good too.
Can you hand me that you just folded up?
Oh, yes, I can. And I will. Okay, so question 3. And this is just sort of more of a fun one. But they're all fun. If you owned a sports team, in any sport, doesn't matter, what would your mascot be and what would your colors be? Sometimes when I need to clear my mind, I really enjoy designing team jerseys because it gives me a chance to like reset for 30 minutes, do something creative, and then I can get back to work and forget what I did. So I have literally experimented with every possible color combination you can come up with.
Yeah, did any of you who enjoy hockey watch the games last night?
Oh my God. Yeah. NHL, 2 playoff games. There were only 2 playoff games. One went into double overtime. The other went into overtime. They were amazing. I stayed up way too late. She fell asleep in the late game, but
yeah.
Man, they were good games.
Yeah. The first one was
it was the Rangers in Carolina.
Yeah, that game was really good.
It was really good. But we wanted the Rangers to win, so we're happy, and then we wanted Colorado to win because we don't like the Stars, and Colorado won. Which is weird. Like, I hate Colorado because I used to be a Sharks fan. That's who I grew up loving. So I've always hated Colorado. But I dislike the Stars enough to want Colorado to win that series. Good night, Charlotte. Have a nice night. So Wayne says his mascot would be a fighting farmer in overalls with maroon and white. Yeah, that's literally something I could see Stanford changing their mascot to, right? From the color cardinal, they could just become the fighting farmers. I can see that.
Every time I heard that, though, I would think
the bird.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh yeah, the Deliverance.
Farmers.
Oh
no.
The We Are Farmers thing.
Yeah.
Jill says a shark would be her mascot with purple and teal. That would look good. I don't think the Sharks ever had purple, but they do use the teal and the black pretty well.
You hurt Jill's feelings.
Oh, sorry, Jill. I know you like Stars, but we're just not fans. Zaza would do a Basset Hound as the mascot with blue and orange or black and white. Pat Strawhouse wants a purple and teal giraffe.
That would be fun. I like that. I'm surprised people came up with things so fast because I'm like, I don't even know because you need to tell me these ahead of time because my brain doesn't work that fast when I'm doing something else too. Hi,
Annette. It is her first time catching live, so welcome. You have missed a lot of like very scandalous talk before you came in. So we'll try and tone it down now that you're here. Judy would go pink and gray and angry hog.
All hogs are angry, aren't they?
Maybe. I mean, there's a.
I guess maybe not everywhere. Does everywhere have the feral hogs like here and in Florida? No. I don't think they do.
You're not finding feral hogs in Michigan, at least not that I know of. Maybe in northern Michigan or
they might
the
be. I don't know. Here they're like here in Florida, they're scary.
Tiff would go with a mermaid, purple, blue, and green. I like that. That actually sounds.
That would be really
yeah. And that says cut loose. So for me, my two favorite animals are the bison and wolves, and I go back and forth on which one I would want to go with. I ultimately think I would go with the wolves. Bison are probably like top wolves on the hierarchy of animals I love, but there's not really a lot you can do with a bison. And wolves, I feel like the logo that you could design could be much more interesting or give you a little bit more leeway. So I'd go with wolf or the wolves. And as cliche as this sounds, I've always been partial to like gold and black as colors because I just really like them. And part of it is the very first sports team I ever played on in my entire life, our colors were gold and black. And I really enjoyed playing sports. And so that's sort of my entry into it. So I'd probably go wolves with gold and black. It's somewhat cliche because literally my favorite soccer team is the Wolves and they're gold and black. But that's not why. It's because wolves are legitimately my second favorite animal, and gold and black I think are great colors for a team. Karen would go with the owls in orange and pink. See, so Karen, I love owls, but I've never been able to get behind the whole orange and pink thing. There's just two colors for me that don't work. Just like brown and pink is another one.
Depends on the shade.
It very well could.
Mine would have to have lavender in it somewhere.
100 Proof Quilter says octopus with golden deep purple. So they've got the Kraken, the Seattle Kraken. They're not gold or purple. I wonder if they have purple. I don't think they do.
Hey, Debbie, stay safe, okay? Did you get your ruler? I went to get on your live yesterday, and I did not make it. I apologize, but I was wondering if you got it.
Amy says honey badger. That makes a lot of sense, Amy. She'd go golden gray. Sea turtle, gray and aqua. Mike says go for a bison wolf. That's actually not a horrible idea, Mike, because if you're creating it, if you own a team, you can do whatever the hell you want. Bison wolf doesn't exist, but who cares? I might, yeah.
It might exist.
Well, I don't know how that.
We could create one. They do weird stuff.
They do. Bison wolf is kind of cool though. I like that thing. Red and white eagle for Bambi. I like that. Oh, hey, Laura. Did you change your icon, Laura? Because I don't remember it being what it is. Don't tell me to keep calm, though. I like that. So Zaza said that's why it worked, because it is orange and pink. Okay. The rabbit raccoon for Laura. Gray, white, and black. So one of our favorite sports mascots. We like the team because of the mascot, though we don't obviously get to see many of their games. But we love the Trash Pandas.
Yeah.
It's a double-A baseball team based in northern Alabama. But their logo is really cool, and the fact that they're called the Trash Pandas is amazing.
Yeah, our kids have like a lot of their.
They've got some Trash Panda gear. Okay, Debbie said she did receive her stuff. Okay, great, perfect. Michelle, I don't know why you're waking up at 4 a.m., but God bless you. Okay, Laura did change it. I'm going to make sure I'm not crazy. I did know that the national animal of Scotland is a unicorn.
Is it really?
Yes. I suspect, and I sincerely believe, that the reason it's a unicorn is because they used to exist in Scotland. So I don't think it's a fake animal. So, but yes. I don't know if I've ever seen a mascot that was a unicorn, but I'm sure it exists somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's like Scottsdale Community College or Tempe's Community College is like the Fighting Artichokes, and they're like fluorescent green and fluorescent pink. So if you can have a fighting artichoke, you can have some unicorns.
So I will sew these two pieces together sometime this week, and I'll show it on our live next week, but I'll have another project to work on. If anybody has anything they would like for me to work on, a pattern or anything that they want to see, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just figure something at random out again.
I'm just putting something together. Are Michelle's Crafts and More and Mike married? I'm just asking because it seems like maybe they are. And if so, great to have another married couple here. Or I may just be reading this. Oh, yes, they are. Okay. He said night wifey. She said night hubby. So I'm taking that as a yes. They're married. Maybe not to each other, but they're married. A puma in royal blue and teal. I like that. And that is from, oh, man. I apologize. Shahira Gates, which I love your name. If I may not have pronounced it right, but your name's really cool. Zaza wants you to hold up what you've done tonight. Here, give it to me, because
what did I do? We're separated. Like
I know, but
you trying to see if it was on. You pulled it. You're better at that.
Wayne says the Savannah Bananas baseball team is a mascot is named Split.
I like that.
That is Split. It's a giant banana. Laura says, have you ever done any raw edge applique or had tutorials on that?
No, I'm horrible at applique. I do have, I think it was just some little coasters that I made that I show how I do like my own version of kind of applique because I don't enjoy doing it, but I have never really had a tutorial where I showed how to do it correctly. Sorry. I have a very cute project that I want to do that's applique, but it's kind of like the one that I have going that is foundation paper piecing, where it's really hard for me to keep focused on it and keep working on it if it's something that I'm not good at.
Yeah, I'm just away. If I'm not good at something, I don't do it. Like I'll give it a good college try to see if I can get good at it. But like oil painting, tried it.
I don't know that you really stuck to that very long.
It was immediately clear that I was not going to be good at it, and I'm like, I don't want to spend my fleeting free time doing something that's going to make me angry.
We need to do some of those again because
I had so much fun doing that.
Well, the different where we just pick a random thing.
Yes.
So what are some of the things we tried with the kids? Like we did candle making.
We did candle making. We did baking, like sort of nailed that sort of projects. We did painting, oil painting. Just do watercolor. Like I'm probably better at that. We did a whole bunch of stuff. I don't remember what we made drinks. We made.
Oh, we did
cakes.
the paint pouring.
Oh, paint pouring. Yep.
And then sports.
Yeah. So Terry says an elephant in jade and white. That would be a cool mascot. That's okay, Julie. We enjoy spreading joy, if that's really what we do. I don't know that it is. So I think those are all the questions I have for today, because we've done 4, because the one about foods that you can't eat just sort of popped up in my mind as something.
We're probably hungry.
I am very hungry now. I know. So, and unfortunately, I had some fresh meat in the fridge that I forgot, and it's now spoiled, and so there's nothing to, which is my fault. But that's what happens when I put it in the wrong place. So I had fun, as I always do.
Yeah.
Except for the blue cheese talk, like that sort of derailed everything, Mike. But you redeemed yourself with In-N-Out, and
there was some other stuff too. I don't remember what it was though, because my brain's fried.
Yeah.
I was having to pay attention on that trial that I'm in as a jury member. That they don't know that I'm a jury member.
Julie, we do have a diamond trim lock, and I thought you had bought it before. It's been in the store for a couple of months, so and
for some reason I thought she did have it.
Yeah, it's used to make this. So it has I don't have one up here right now near me, but
I probably do.
It has a triangle piece, and then it has the piece for the it's got the diamond piece and then the triangle piece to make the other things. So there you go. Kathy would go with green and gold cicadas. I have read, I have not experienced it here yet, but there are apparently some places in America right now that are just being completely invaded.
We've gotten them
by
before,
cicadas.
but we haven't.
Not this year. Yeah.
Which is odd. We've had these other weird bugs though that I'm not a fan of. Now none of them creep me out as much as the fish flies do in Michigan. Though,
yeah.
Where we live there. That was.
Wayne says a manatee mascot. That was cool. So to me, the fun thing, the reason I asked this question, like I said, is sometimes like when I need a mental break, I just start designing stuff. The cool thing is that when you're talking about mascots and team colors, you can go crazy, right? You could literally do tigers in pink and blue, and it could look really cool. So, if you had a manatee, maybe the colors might be, blue and brown, but you could also go crazy and say, look, I want it to be green and gold. And no one's going to bug you because it's a damn mascot. That's kind of the fun part.
Some people will.
Yeah. Well, those people don't deserve to give
advice.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? It's my work. I can do whatever I want with it.
Julie, now that you say that, I know you do, because you had posted some pictures of the blocks that you made. But you kind of just thought I was mentioning another one. But I want to think of another pattern or layout to do with these. But I haven't had a chance yet. I'm working on a little secret that I'm going to reveal part of, is that I'm working on a pattern for Liz from Quilting Cat. So you'll see that come up soon for her site. What?
Mike said Bison Wolf, my assignment.
Oh.
I picture Bison Wolf being like some deep blues and deep greens. I think that would be the way. Maybe sort of a camo pattern. I'm into this. Maybe some browns. I like it. So I have to think about that.
So Karen, my kids, our kids still talk about the fish fly trauma. When did we move from there? They were like
we moved in
7 or 8, 7 and 8, around there. And they still talk about it. Like Lorelai was completely offended that the school would try to get them to line up along the side of the school, because that's where all the fish flies would be, like right up against the wall. And she was not a fan. And Hunter talks about how you could hear them even in the car driving over them.
And we lived right on Lake St. Clair, which it's like the closer you live to water, the more ridiculous they get. And like you go out to your car and it would literally be, you wouldn't even know what color your car was because it'd be fish flies completely all over it.
Alexandra, you should Google it. You will be traumatized. Are you able to put a picture up on there?
I don't know how.
Like, because Lorelai was wanting to know recently, like, if it really got as bad as she remembers. So we looked up pictures, and there's tons of pictures up there of them just covering sides of buildings. It's something to see.
They're very large. They're very large. Like they're bigger than a moth, smaller than a bat.
And they only live for like 24 hours, I think. So then they're just dead everywhere.
And yeah, and they die and they stick to stuff. But that it's sort of a pro con because if you have a lot of fish flies, it means that the water source that they're originating from is very healthy.
And it's only for a short period.
Yeah, well, it's like a couple weeks. But
it's like not year round.
No, it's not year round. Oh, hey, Sean. He says it would either be drop bears or raptors, purple and red green. What is a drop bear? Do you know?
A what?
A drop bear, DROP bear.
I don't know.
Yeah, Karen. She's at 9 in Harper, and sometimes the roads move.
Oh, hi, Sean. Yeah,
Lorraine's got some.
One thing I was not a fan of there. Those things that were weird. One of the stores that I worked at, they always wanted us to like wipe them off the side of the building. So we would go out there with like a broom or something and try to brush them off. And
it's a fool's errand because you'll wipe them off and it'll literally be 30 seconds. They'll be all back. It's like, well, nothing you can do about it. Now, they don't land on you. They don't attack you. They smell really bad when they die because it's a decaying bug.
But they smell like fish. I think that's why they're called
maybe
fish
like I think they hatch in the water. And then
maybe like just like what you associate with it because of the name. I don't know.
I don't know. No, but they does smell. But part of the problem too is it's like you find them on your boat, right? And the boat's in the water, and so it's sort of like, yeah, of course it's going to smell fishy.
We've traumatized everybody.
Yeah.
Google it.
Yeah, it's no fun. Okay, so a drop bear is a fictional creature that is related to koala, big teeth and claws, drops on unsuspecting people.
No, I don't like that, Sean.
And flashes less. What is going on in Australia, Sean? What are you guys trying to do?
I don't like that.
What is that? Sounds like some demon.
That would be a good mascot, though.
It would be, but that's also demonic. Love stink bugs. When you kill them, they stink. Yes, they do. Yeah. So enjoy your nightmares tonight when you think about fish flies covering everything. And drop bears. Yeah. A mean, vicious koala that drops out of the sky and snatches you up, and the last thing you see is a flash. Yeah, that's so now here's the thing. I'm hungry for Celia's in Palo Alto, which gets exacerbated. And the reason I came up with this question was because a buddy of mine who's also, we used to work together at a law firm, and now we independently have law firms. But I called him today because I'm a federal specialist. Like most of my work is all in federal court. I do very little state court work, and I had a state court question for someone, and he's the guy I called because he's a state court specialist. I called him, and he was in Palo Alto for a case, a federal case, actually. So he had a question for me. I had a question for him. It worked out great. But I was like, dude, you need to go to Celia's because you're like 15 minutes away. Go eat there. So now I want a chimichanga from Celia's along with one of their delicious pina coladas. Then I want to go to In-N-Out and get me some animal style fries and a double with raw onions. Yeah, I'm just really hungry. I don't even know what I want. I mean, I know what I want, but I'm not going to Palo Alto.
That's what we're going to have because neither of us are going to want to cook.
Yeah, Sean, next time you have either my wife on a live, and if I can join, we'll talk about drop bears because I want to hear this story.
All right, well, we got to go figure out some food. But it's been fun chatting with everyone. And if you have any project ideas that you want me to work on, you can email them and I will take a look. But otherwise, we'll be seeing a new project next week and I'll have this one sewn together.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I just have to add that onto the.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. I mean, it won't be quilted yet because I still have one on the long arm I need to work on. But it'll be together. So we will see you all back here next week. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yes.
Bye.